Welcome to TJ's TV Makeup for Men. Now, why in the world would a man want to wear makeup? Seems a little suspect, right? Suspicious. That's a bit feminine, right? Here's the problem. If you go on television and you're not wearing makeup, you're going to stand out. Now, why is that? Because every anchorman's wearing makeup. Every TV reporter, every movie star, every sitcom star, everybody on TV is wearing makeup. So if you do a local TV interview or go on a cable news show without makeup, you're going to stand out. You're going to look weird. It's like showing up at a black tie event in your bathing suit. Now, nothing wrong with a bathing suit if you're at the beach or a pool, but it doesn't work at a black tie event. Here's the problem. You may look fine in person. You might not have oily skin. You might not have all sorts of blemishes. But on television, you'll look worse than normal. Let's go in and get a close shot of my face right now. Now, I just shaved. I had a brand new 4-blade razor this morning an hour ago. But get a good tight shot. You can probably already see 5 o'clock shadow. You see a little bit of shadow. Now, if I'm sitting here under bright lights for a little while, you'll start to see a shine on my nose. You'll see a shine on my forehead. And now where my hair's getting a little bit thin, that shine will get even more pronounced. All of those things are distracting. Now, the reason to wear makeup, if you're a typical businessman on TV, is not so that people think of you as Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise or some international movie star. The goal is you just want to look professional. You don't want to distract anyone. You don't want them thinking, TJ looks kind of sick today, or oh, look at those bags under his eyes. You don't want that. So I want to give you a system I created that I use personally anytime I go on TV that you can use yourself even if there's no makeup artist around. Sure, if you go on the Today Show, if you go on CNBC, they'll probably have a makeup person for you, but they might not. Ultimately, no one cares more about your reputation, your image, than you do. So it's your job to make yourself look your best. I mean, you have to put your pants on in the morning, you put your tie on, you need to put your face on. It may seem awkward at first, but let me demystify it for you, step by step. First of all, let's start with TJ's makeup system. This is what I put together for what I need. It's simple, it's easy, it's what you need. We got a sponge, we've got a brush here to put some powder on. We've got a voice spray, a foundation, some powder, and some lip balm, all in one little case. So for starters, I'm going to put some lip balm on. Now you may think, oh, why is that important? You know, I don't need shiny, rosy lips. I don't want lipstick or anything like that. Of course you don't want any color. Here's the problem. When you go on TV, chances are you're going to get a little nervous. What happens then is your mouth gets dry. What happens then is, I see it all the time. People are on TV, they're licking their lips. That looks horrible. So you want to have a little bit of lip balm. Not too much. You don't want to shine, but start with just a little lip balm. The next thing is some foundation. This just smooths things over. So what I'm going to do is put a little right here. I'm just going to dab it all over my face, and I'm going to rub it in a minute. So I'm looking into the mirror in the compact to see that I'm roughly getting the areas. Now, I have some dark circles under my eyes, so I want to blot this under the dark circles, just so I'm not distracting. Now, I want to make sure that I get down to my neck because I may have cut myself shaving a time or two this morning. I want to make sure that that's not as noticeable. Get it all around here, get up to the hairline. So I have a little bit everywhere. Now I'm going to rub it in, but I'm going to dab. I don't want to go up and down too much. I want to dab. That just makes it go on better. So I'm dabbing it throughout. I especially want to get above my lip so that my 5 o'clock shadow is not as prominent. What I'm looking for is just a neat, consistent look. I don't want to look made up. If someone can see your makeup on TV, that's a sign that you probably didn't have a great makeup job. Now, I'm going to go through this in explicit detail with you, but keep in mind, once you've done it a time or two, you should really be able to do this whole operation in a minute or two. It's not a complicated process. Okay, so now I'm going to take this powder makeup, simple, compact. It has a whole blend of colors, so whether you're a little bit darker, a little bit lighter, it shouldn't matter. The main thing with any powder, with any makeup, you don't want to change the color of your skin. Because if you got one color here and up here it's completely different, or down here it's different, that will stand out. That'll be a sign to all the people at home watching you, hey, this guy's got makeup on. We want to seem natural. So now I'm going to take the brush, smooth the powder around, and just brush it on. So all I'm trying to do is make sure I have even coat of powder all over my face. I want to get it under my eyes. I don't want to get it in my eyes because then I won't be able to stop blinking. I don't want to cause any irritation. I'm going to go up to the hairline. Again, it's not that this is going to make me look like I have hair as thick as I did when I was 14 years old, but the less I have a shine up around my hairline, the better. I want to put just a little on my ears too. I don't want them to shine. I want it to be a little consistent. Now, let's get a tight shot. Again, it's not that I'm transformed. It's not that I look 1,000 times better. But what I'm looking for is just a more even look and no distractions. Now, we're not quite done yet. There's one other thing we have to worry about. I mentioned at the beginning that when people are on TV, they get nervous. They start licking their lips. Now, we've solved that problem with the lip balm. But there's one other thing I would recommend. Of course, drink as much water as you can, but sometimes it just isn't enough. That's why I have TJ's Voice Save. This is a lubricant for the inside of your mouth, for your throat. Couple of squirts, and you're well lubricated. You're less likely to get that dry mouth feeling. So it keeps your mouth well lubricated so that you can just do what you normally do, and that's talk. So now, this is the after. Again, I promised you it wasn't going to transform you, wasn't going to make you look 10,000 times better, but now, if you have the right makeup, you're not going to have to sit there and worry about, oh gosh, do I look my best, or how come this person looks better? You can relax and do what you really need to do, which is focus on your message and communicate to the viewers at home. Good luck.